Namadang Gombo Jizun Ja Yang La Jang Za Lu Angye Lord Dim Ni Jin Do Ni Da Nam Da Ra Za Chi Nye Dum Gun Ji Shin Zi Jin Ni Ki Tu Ga Le Bam Anda Zebe Zara Mare Mundun Dungal Gizere Rozon Gola Buje Darat Yela Joju Yades Roda Jero Nyamoni Lege Jaro Roze Mare Mas Nanyungo Chinye Juzeral Jenam Bene Daje Zaju Daras Yedele Zonyal Se Tovengu Chura Jodan Junye Gendre Dalem Bunsen Jampe Lande Amarabazana Arabazana Sende Gege Geravas Tale de Mombaravzal Kandan Denju Jolo Doba Lord Bobenam Saldozo Kanzen Dawarande Bam Chonsen Jewarande Nayam Ombo Jamyai Denyin Keme Baryan Don Waraju Tamje Lalayang Ne Samje Dashi Delishu
Again, welcome all of you.
Ne Sangme Changju Shodo Toji Be Kulong Jabone Sal Kulong Sal Damne Sembar Shu
Please engender the motivation of bodhicitta.
Ne Kangshe Sembar Jawa Shwede Ne Tegwa Chimbo Sojung Lensul Lamnanda Nyeneji Ne Domba Lensul Korean Bare
The text that we are studying together is the way to observe the Mahayana Sojong vows and also how to practice the one-day eightfold vow.
네 돈바 송자들의 아니 로단 된데레 세미 계제된소 마송마 쉬 아니 다 십진 타워의 쉬 말데 내내된소 휴주 바래
And we've already discussed the way of taking this vow last time, but we didn't go into a lot of detail. We just went through the most important points.
네 단된 데셔야고 아니 바로로 저 송제데 마송마 갈래 된샤바 인도 디소소나 아니 십타잖아 보라나로 여가래
And Patrul Rinpoche has a good explanation on this. And if we recite that text, or if we read that text, then we will get all the subtle points.
다 가서 니 대진이 소중함나다 년내게 돈받에 랑당 간다래 아니 소소 지고랑다 간다랑고 그래 아니 교육신년 라서 봐지 눈도 간다랑고 그래 어딘도 골라게 지시기
And now we will talk about how to take the 1 day Mahayana Sojong vow. And we'll discuss how to take it alone by yourself or how to take it in front of a guru.
아니 딱 렌줄게 저거 대링돼 나가 망보셔라도 다다는 가서 저거 뒤바지 아니 졸라랑데 샤유 개바 링딩 뒤바
So there's a way of explaining how to take this vow, which is expansive and middling and the shorter version.
니 배제제도 대나라니 대진 소중 렌줄 람좀잘 니데 제가제 된 람좀 잘와 군영 올라메 샴라 쿠드네 대와치 보조중 겐도 말렘 비추어간 거 디레 강시 땡담메베 동아다 군중게 님이 레자나 냠라바네 카젬게 마간 냠다메 낭술 된데 닝데 장죽 돈돈 예르베 가성게 개워다게 대과ችን 보소중롱 제달랑을 술내서 근데 다단다 술좀이 남자 인도잖아 아니 장주 선배 술좀이 송에 된 전에 그저 요역하래 다 년도에 남도에 아니 술좀 송다 대한 땐 김바든 졸로 조체와 전에는 세상 되상다다 되서라네 소소 네 다 줄름 간에 랑고도 대한 택진이 람난들 간에 랑고도 네거로 나 계시 시기 인습을 잘해
So now we are within the document in the first text. If you don't have it, it's in the WhatsApp group of the Dharma Gyan youth. So we are in the first text in this document, the way to observe the Mahayana Sojong vow, the vow of mending and purification. And within that, the ritual for taking the vow. So the text reads, having bowed respectfully at the feet of the Guru, who is the embodiment of countless victors, I will explain the ritual for taking the vow of the Mahayana Sojong. A fortunate being who knows the faults of limitless suffering and origination, and, drawing on their own experience, thinks of their pitiful state, their own old mothers, who are as numerous as space is vast, and thereafter, from the heart endeavors to reach awakening, should take the Mahayana Sojong vow in the following way. So now here in this text, of course, the way of holding the Bodhisattva discipline will be explained, but not only that, there will also be an explanation on how to take the Shravaka, the discipline of the level of the Shravakas. So that is something that can be observed on special occasions, auspicious occasions, or from time to time according to yourself, according to your own time. And now here he will explain how to take these vows within the context of the Mahayana.
토른 라레 통장이 되들 출래버체 상신 이동의 사조소 군족의 된담 상라자는 배추바치조르샴 룬두쿠베 줄람게 코데 송자도 당아로 가장 저야 랑고 요래 어디 롱바당 아니 사지치라이나 야르군 던지라서 봐 뒤라 뜸비네 뒤 망해 바치를 용조 그래 제도 쇼바 추수 숨바네네 조바 tum바 어디바로 가리 주나야 어딘데지 뒤딘데지라 아니 야랑 뒤제 아니 돌로야 보건 아니 다 젠자를 담는다는 마다 아니 가서 수불라 주야를 담는다 여러 제마신부 가리 주야 나오당 손자 담는다 나오당 다 주야 된저 마주 아니 다 주상다 고고 요래 되네 전에 아니 또 건조게 된 구성도된 눈라 아니 쳐봐 샴고 요래다 쳐봐 매도 Shamnanda, Yang Namjun, Chun Shabza Medo, Dobe Lazo, Choba Nadun, the Chamba Inanda, and Marme Chamba Inanda, and the Lumba, the Saja, the Dumbe, and the Kandar Chobakari, Shamna Indigure. And Choba Yidon, Wayabo Shamne, Didun, Soso, Tego Resa. Tandi Tanda Soso Chibu, Tedandang Tumba, 6,000 Roger.
Mm. Then the text goes on. It says, at dawn, at that time when the lines on the palms of the hands are barely visible, you should wash well and arrange supports of the three jewels in a clean and beautiful place. Arrange whatever excellent and sublime offerings you can afford. Sit down before them with a respectful demeanor and recite. So here, this is the explanation of the preparation for taking the vow. And it's adequate to do it according to the place, the country that you live in, and according to your time. So it says here at dawn. So this can be any time between 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., anytime in between that, according to the place where you are. So you should rise, you should get up and wash, put on good clothing, but avoid putting on jewelry or ornaments or these kind of things. So there are a lot of things that we use to beautify the body, like jewelry or like nice fragrances, like perfumes. That these kind of things we should avoid, but we should wear clean clothing. That's what's important here. And then we need a shrine, a representation of the enlightened body, speech, and mind, and we should prepare offerings for on the shrine. So those can be flowers or any of the traditional offerings that we use, for example, butter lamps. But it's fine to offer anything according to where you are and according to what is available to you. So you should then, yeah. So you can offer anything that is pleasing, that is pleasant. So then sit on a comfortable seat, and then it goes on with the ritual. So this here is the explanation of how to take the vow on your own.
Da Kazen, Tarang, Lame Kundin de La Ina, and it does Sazon de Zon de Nejela, and Lama Kundin La Charere, and the Kabala Mi Mambo Yong Seroa, Lama Chek, the Mi Chi, Ni Sumshine, touching the on the Jadong Tibumbar Yong Shore, and Kabalo so the Chibu Yong Jogere, the Kari in a young, and Choba Shamadang, Zangda Ched, and the Chibu Yare.
So last time we discussed the way of taking the ritual if you are in the presence of a guru. So, for example, if you meet your guru at a special time, at a special occasion, like on an auspicious day, it could happen that sometimes there are many people there. It could be that there are only 2 or 4 or just several people, but it could also happen that there are 1,000 people or 10,000 people present. So whether that is the case or whether you are on your own, you should still prepare offerings and wash and apply all these things that were explained here.
Ni Tenen dejela talmon jarne, ni tsik dinzo döngu yore. Ta tsik dirang döngu be chabada ke mare. Tan dedang dawa shama döna en riri yore. Ina dat sojong korang ji sung nangla, shung nangla yobe tsik di. Ina sanje chwe dang so cho la, changjo bardo jabzo shi, ta dang shendun duble do, ta ke changjo semje do. Chojo dana shobaya sanje changjo semba sun. 다그 조베 창조게 되는 창조 semje to second say de ane tema sum talmajane songo yere te membaden sanje chona so yu chona manda oda shembaden so sona ya mele ba yomare tonda de da kyabjo no konjo sonda de tu de ne janjo ma to de bo de yabzon jo ge yin ane da samje damje sanjo go bang je do nge chön jo ge yin de la ne karzo gore 상제의 장조 선바 계란소 선바 방보진의 쇼로낭 네 다른 네 대진지 소중기 넘어의 랑기인스 언데 다 캠로다 semje 담자제 버려도라
So then, with your palms folded, recite, I take refuge until enlightenment in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. Through the merit of practicing generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dwelling in the 10 directions, please listen. For the sake of perfect awakening, from this moment I generate bodhicitta. These are the verses which are given in the text for taking the Sojong vow, but it doesn't have to be these exact words. You don't need to recite just these words. It's okay if you recite similar words. For example, if you don't have these available, then you can also recite the classic prayer to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I go for refuge, and so on. So whichever one you have, you recite it 3 times. And it's just important that what you recite includes going for refuge through the 3 jewels and the commitment to make effort to establish all other sentient beings in Buddhahood, basically taking the bodhicitta, the bodhisattva vow. So that's how we take the Mahayana Sojong vow in the beginning by going for refuge and committing to bodhicitta.
Nishe lensumji kone jablo semje nendundu che las ta jablus nang semje che gore sebedonare dola.
Thus earnestly take refuge and generate bodhicitta 3 times. Then read the following 3 times. So here, just like that, it is about taking refuge and generating bodhicitta.
Inin de che la ta tes treba keba deba yin yang treba tes ba. Ene son nang do keba tes treba treje chen de na ni den zo nong gore. Tamje tune sashi da sema la so me ba ya tang la del tar nyam ben bedu je rang shin jam bur ne jur chi se ni ne to dun do 사실 담지 신경 보는 소리 모르는 교송 사다치 쉬어가 지금데 돈다데 말에 언데네 지금 삼노나.
So this would be what you recite if you want to have it a little bit more condensed, or if you want to make your ritual a bit more expansive, then you can recite the following lines. May the ground everywhere be pure and free of pebbles and such, and even as the palm of a hand, and naturally smooth like lapis lazuli. So here you then imagine, you visualize that everything in front of you has turned into a pure Buddha realm. That's how you should think.
근데 이제 라하다 미 추변제 무수 샴다 얘기 툴 공상 주제 나나면 남게 감군 잡주르체서 안데 아니 소존 눈도 샴베 최제 담제 본pon좀 줘봐 이동 왕원 교송 삼다 추변제 무슨 요로다 이동 샴 일을 출발한 데서 제시 참여고 하체 상마 견제 말와 간다라 쳐봐데 아니 본좀 줘봐 이동와 아니 딱배랑신도 제네 남가 타다냐바 교송 삼메이 말에 남가 가르냠지 추베 제장장지 강여봐.
May divine and human offering substances, both those actually arranged and those mentally created, become unsurpassable Samantabhadra offering clouds, filling all realms of space. So here, then, you yourself visualize or imagine that all these offerings that you have are perfect and very pleasant. So it says divine and human offering substances. I don't need to explain that. There's no need. You know what this is referring to. So here in front of you, you visualize or you imagine that all space, everywhere where there is space, that is completely filled with very pleasant, perfect offerings of completely pure nature.
니티니 데질라 나데 렌좀 된고고래 나데 다가서고래 추빈제데 다바다 상와당 아니 남가 타다냐바 벨레게 마임바래
So then you recite the following mantra 3 times. And this mantra is meant to purify all these offerings and make them completely fill all of space.
ngade da peji lo dan lo so la om namo bhagavate bazar sarata mandane tanda gada ya arhate samya sambuddha ya te dam bazar bazar ma tenzo bazar ma bide bazar ma bodhi siddha bazar ma bodhi mando pasam damana bazar sarva karma avarana bishodana bazar soha lensums tangade tadang so kangi gonne lona yang ene kandara lensum loro nang.
Okay, now Khenpo recited the Tibetan way of how this mantra is recited, and we have a Sanskrit transliteration here, so I will read that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vajrasara Pramardane Tathagataya Arhate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tadyatha Om Vajre Vajre Mahavajre Mahateja Vajre Mahavidya Vajre Mahabodhi Chitta Vajre Mahabodhi Mandupa Samkramana Vajre Sarvakarma Varna Vishodana Vajre Swaha. So whichever way you have of reciting this mantra, you recite it 3 times.
ene deje la lensum jan kunjo sumje denpa da sanje da shanjo senpa tam je je chenje lab da sonyo yongzo so be nga dang chenpo da chuje yin nambar da jin samje mi jebe tobi dede shin tobi de shin ni do gyurji che saji da choze chenje lab da de se de tonda de yage kang le byon da ran chobe ze tam je taba da sangwa da 사제 담저 신금 용어 교르적 선비 엔케전데 존아이 말에 대한 테마제 마도 송고 말에.
And then it says, by the truth of the 3 jewels, by the blessings of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by the great power of the 2 fully perfected accumulations, and by the utterly pure and inconceivable power of the Dharma Dhatu, may it be so. Thus bless the ground and offerings. And then to invite the field of refuge recite. So these words, the meaning of these words has already been explained now. It is to make all the offerings pure and pleasant and pervade all of space. And this part you only need to recite once.
네 다데 젤라스 아니 군조숨 젠젠제 임바레 가르송노 말루 샘진 군제 건조ring 되네 봉제 메시지 점자라 원나 말루 주시 원나 말루 양다 젠주르비 전된 코르제네들 시소 솔로 단데 좀 받아 domba tubu yongbo shaji tuba la ane chokchu tuyusumna shube sanjayda chancho samba tamche korwa dungi nama ngosumda chunsong satine ane samye yimbare kini ngo de soso da tanda sanga dan dewe ondo dana ane ngo tsawe lama la nama shaji tuba me yimbare ane chedang tekchin sam chedang reli na ane tsawe lama samla tangma tang kogi mindo.
So then for the next one, we invite the presence of the 3 jewels. Protector of all beings without exception, divine subduer of the endless hordes of Mara, perfect knower of all things as they are, Bhagavan with your retinue, please come to this place. So here we are inviting the blessed Shakyamuni Buddha and all the Buddhas of the 3 directions, I think, and all their retinue. So you should think, or you should visualize that they all came here to this place now. And generally for yourself, if you are connecting this with the practice of Tantra, and if you're already practicing Tantra yourself, then you can see Shakyamuni Buddha as your own root guru. But in general, there's no need to see, in this case, see Shakyamuni Buddha as your root guru.
ninche rangi tenje sawa lama pamba tubi ongbar salwala choju kyalwa seche tamje nyo korwa chen rang dunye nambar nguzum dawa shuwara me la Dona Chene Suda Chebane Chirwa Shebe Paratang Dona Nukosum Quibin Gone Chazalo, Mosham Yudul Cheba Malumbul, Tomeneza Tendo Malusha, Jeba, Kewa Namla, Cheyeran Korwa Madon Bardo, Lechune, Nula Chuju Kolo Korwa, Tang, Tajin Kanam Changjup Chimbrongo, She Yanla Domba, Du Kangrin Song Jesa. 제가 전전 제사원 요라는 가르쳐 버려야 람들잖아. 아니 연락도 뭐 줘볼 거래 숨말에. 다 제바 제도에는 상조만은 나노 예비 인진에서도 조조지된 나라서 봐. 아니 근저 동거래 숨래. 뒤나 대랑라 노아 고종고뱅 권에 찾아로 선대나네. 아니 가서 당신께 남장주님 전부로 바로 나와다디. 근데 대스 소소 제도나 대모숨도 난데그래 대면은 제가 안에 대모지 탈모처네 아니 돈샤는 되게 요래 다 연락도 받지 돈다는 돈에 배제 공부 유주래 노르주시 한 가서 쉬죠 그래.
So then the text goes on. Visualize your kind root guru as the teacher, the lord of sages, surrounded by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, invited and present in the space before you, as if actually there. If you wish, recite all those residing in the 10 directions, and so on, through I shall dedicate. Or, to be brief, recite, with the respect in body, speech, and mind I prostrate. I offer all actual and mentally created offerings without exception. I confess all negative actions and downfalls accumulated since beginningless time. I rejoice in the virtues of ordinary beings and noble ones. Please remain until samsara is emptied, and turn the wheel of dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate all my and others' virtues to great awakening. After completing the 7-branch prayer in either extensive or brief form, and then it goes on. So here, after having invited the Buddhas, we then offer the 7-branch offering or 7-branch prayer. So if you wish to do this in a little bit more expansive way, then you can recite the way that this prayer appears in the Samantabhadra aspiration prayer. So this is what is referred to with this line, all those residing in the 10 directions through I shall dedicate, meaning like from this part up to I shall dedicate. So if you don't want to have your ritual be that expansive, then you can make it a little bit shorter by reciting the version that is given here in our text. And it's alright if you recite it 3 times, if you want to make it more elaborate, or just once if you want to shorten it. So, yeah, you already know the 7-branch prayer. So, yeah.
나한테 되게 마시는 야사로 정말 견딘 말에도 니시에서 연락 돈 받게도 강rin 송제 차숨산에 돈 받슈 연도 면적제도 강rin시 볼스 다 연락 돈 받사와다 아니 라메군든 이나 아니 로마든 줄에 라마라 아니 차숨자 아니 멘탈 제 볼고 요래 아니 소소직 보이나 아니 된그 송도된 여바이나나 그 정도는 매베가 갑도 잡나 아니 눈이 남아라 살다 베래 대군들라 간다 멘탈지 불네 멘탈 제등들 가리 보나 소소 가리 시기요 생겨요 봐 데레폰한테 들어와 멘탈지 불사.
So you are all aware of the 7-branch prayer, so there's no need to elaborate a lot on that now. So then the text goes on, make 3 prostrations and offer a mandala, either extensive or brief, as an offering for requesting the vows. So now we have offered the 7 branches, and if we are in front of a guru, then the disciples would prostrate 3 times in front of their teacher and offer a mandala. But if you're only taking the vow on your own, in front of your shrine with the representations of the enlightened body, speech, and mind, the 3 jewels, then you also do the same in front of this shrine. You prostrate, and then you offer a mandala either in a short way or in a more extensive way. Whatever you know it's fine.
Nindani, lagu tagba chikdo sar, puma yebi langa sala suk, langye thalmo jarde, samba denyamdo sa. Tene degabla lagu, da, tanda zo khenpa denzo chedo yinzang, tan dero sen rangda yo mare de, kabala da dero je, tene shol lagro. Tene ju nam, ene de ane kasa ware, tab tangne sola ne, chabala sar, ene puma yeba sa kandero, sala dene suk, tene thalmo dene charne. Wa dene chene thalmo charne, ane samlo dene dangore es.
So then the text goes on. Drape your upper robe over one shoulder, place your right knee on the ground, join your palms together, and with this motivation. So here now comes the explanation relating to the robes. So that is relevant for monastics. So they have this shawl, which is called sen in Tibetan. And then Khenpo showed how to take the shawl and drape it over the shoulder. And after that, then you go down to the floor with your right knee and join your palms together and then recite.
Dadi, tela deshe jeba songdo, samudanda khasang balu romba she jaya song sar zowa nendo kola. Samba de nyamdo kare, tazo namge tada nyambe semjen namu, tongma meba ne tade bardo chere, korwa tang, jebar ngansong sumje dongal yogo, shik chang meba nyongdo senja dongal la, dewa tang tang meba la tangdo zembe longen, nga shurindi tu leda nyomongbe xiawangdo sonne, lar yang korwa tang ngansong ge dongal sogawa. Ngar lejan chechere mawa shara wame bar nyongwe, nyongwe be ngangsun de samna ngabar nyinglong tangwe be suezam dunduk. Unya chumdende shaje do bala soba ngun chun sembe, sanje chumdende deda jang demande sanje simba, shikinji, ngun danja tang sumba korwar neba la kewi chenyin redan jalwe chenle korwa chenle korwe yi yung shing. Samjung lang tsawa tene changjub do tene deda wo tepa jimbo so jungi domba xene yangda bar songja lamla lamda sanja ba yin teshin da daga jan gewe shin yin ji kujin le tepa jimbo chue dang jalwe kamdir changjub do samjin ne lamla lam ngebe sanja ji ngobang top nu teda na shi dang lamda rewe nega tamje do medu merungwe za she ji so neje lekso tamje kangli jungwi 중국식 예신 노르보 통만매만 거루위 체달 만족에 버더 전제 장중 중원 결배 카이데 마가 냠다만 데다 ял와르 돈네 아니 지분 데다 삼 룰렘베 몽범 모세 드런남 몽범모 드런남다 제버 중선야 민도 되나다기 만 남과다님베 삼전 담제지 돈도 양다 모르고 산지니 고바르 뭐지 진는데 고바르차 대주도 될와 세당 제반 딘남지 제가 대고 좀 소중기 노말한데 상님아 마셔게 버도 레버를 송으로 자원님의 삼바 민네 치마 쪽바당 뢰제 범부통 소삼지 동동왕당 제 아무도 병보 제존도 버멜라서 단디 된 교육신인 군들은 랑이나 디츠의 개근 지고지 라마 지고지만 된샤래 안 소소 지고 랑이나 나디 돈다데 삼로 다이래 세딘지 뭐지 동거베 잡아요 말해 아니 가세다 세딘 돈나 소소로 돈다데 삼로 다야당 아니 미버코멜라 펜도고요나 아니 마 된샤나 되게 되면은 마돈나양 삼로 소중나 되게 요래.
So now the text offers us a more expansive explanation. I will just read all of it. Alas, even though I and all sentient beings equal to the extent of space have experienced countless sufferings of samsara, and especially of the three lower realms, from beginningless time until now, due to misconceptions that regard suffering as happiness and selflessness as having a self, we have fallen under the control of karma and afflictions, and will helplessly experience even more unbearable suffering of samsara and the lower realms than before. When I consider this situation, it truly merits deep distress. However, the blessed Buddha Shakyamuni and all previous Buddhas were not primordially enlightened. They too once dwelled in samsara just like us, but through the kindness of meeting spiritual friends, they developed renunciation for samsara, generated compassion for all beings, generated the mind of awakening, took Mahayana purification vows such as these, maintained them properly, trained in the path, and thus attained Buddhahood. Similarly, I too, through the kindness of spiritual friends, have now encountered the Mahayana Dharma. By generating bodhicitta and training in the path, I can certainly attain Buddhahood. Nevertheless, to abandon these suffering mothers throughout space, who have been my closest friends in all ground, path, and fruition states, who are the wish-fulfilling jewel from which all excellent qualities of this and future lives arise, and who have cared for me since beginningless time and will continue to do so until the end of samsara, and to pursue only my own happiness differs little from ignorant animals. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings equal to space, I must attain the precious state of perfect Buddhahood. For this purpose, I will take the Mahayana purification vows in the presence of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and will maintain them properly until tomorrow's sunrise. With such intense intention that tears well up in your eyes and the hairs on your body stand on end, imagine repeating after your guru, the Lord of Sages. So here, this in the case where you would take the vow in front of your guru, then the guru would recite these words, only the guru, not the disciples. But if you are only taking the vow on your own, then there is no need to recite all these words. It is enough if you reflect on the meaning. But if it's beneficial for your reflection and your meditation on the meaning of these words to recite them, then it's also fine. You can also recite them. But if you don't need that, then you don't have to recite them.
Nda tomba lembe sik mama de ta shine le byong yore. Lame kunde lang yona ni lame ji song lama ji chende chene telen sumre. Soso chibu yina ni chibu ndona degre yang lal sama nyamdo. Chene ni kaza gore temo sum dona yan degi yore.
So now we reach the point where the actual words of the
Tomba len sik mama ta wane lebo do chow chun na shube sik do.
So now we come to the point where the actual vows that are to be recited while taking the vow come in the text. So if you are taking the vow in front of the Lama, then he might recite it 3 times, but if you are on your own, then it is also fine if you recite it 3 times yourself.
Tsidi da dire do chow chun na shube sanje da chanjo semba tamje da la kongso sol chedar ngon je te jen she ba da jom ba yang da ba zo be sanje da changje da wo langbo chenbo da wo jawa che jen cheba cheba kuro borwa rangi tem che su to ba seba kundu jongwa yongso se ba yang da be ka lekbar namba tulbe tuk lekbar namba tulbe sharab chen deda ki simjan thamje je dunje chirdang pembar chawe chirdang cholor chawe chirdang mogan mebar chawe chirdang ne mebar chawe chirdang changjub je cho je chue nam yongso zobar chawe chirdang lana meba yangda bar zobe changjub mebar tobar chawe chir sojun yangda bar zeba de shindu ta mingdi she je we jang ta de kapsu ta mingdi she soso mingdi lukere soso ming ta ming ne pema tondro ro ina tam ta pema tondro she jewe jang tu dine sonde cheze sang nima ma shar je bardo simjan thamje je tunji chirda pembar chawe chirda tolor chawe chirda moge mebar chawe chirda ne mebar chawe chirda jangjub je chok je chue nam yongzo zoba chawe chirda lana meba yangda bar zobe changjub ngebar toba chawe chir sojun yangda bar langwar kiyo she lensum chue sa.
So now the words are as follows. Just as the previous Tathagatas, Arhats, perfectly complete Buddhas, who were like thoroughbred horses, like great elephants, who had done what needed to be done, who had accomplished what needed to be accomplished, who had laid down their burdens, who had achieved their own welfare, who had completely exhausted the fetters of existence, who had perfect speech, whose mind were perfectly liberated, whose wisdom was perfectly liberated, properly observed the purification ceremony for the sake of all sentient beings, for their benefit, for their liberation, for eliminating famine, for eliminating disease, for completely perfecting the factors of enlightenment, and for definitely realizing unsurpassed, perfect, complete enlightenment. In the same way, I, named such and such, so here in this placeholder where it says such and such, you insert your own name. So for example, if your name is Pema Dundro, then it would be in the same way, I, named Pema Dundro, for this time until tomorrow's sunrise, will properly undertake the purification ceremony for the sake of all sentient beings, for their benefit, for their liberation, for eliminating famine, for eliminating disease, for completely perfecting the dharmas pertaining to enlightenment, and for definitely realizing unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Recite this 3 times.
sumba dzogba dang tue nyam to rangi gyula tomba topchung nyame gawa kum tene ngara sheba dawe changjub je semje kulong savda bate chedarangun je tachumba namjo sochoba la sobe lunga ki nyejo tamje pangjin yeje deda le la loba techundu taga je semje tamje je do nyejo tenam ninsha cheke bardo pangne laba nam sochundu labar kewe nyamdo samlas tante sum jamaa thakdo ne nga ne karasa wara changchu sambe ne sojun ka domba nyene je domba de top song ne so lang gawa kum ne karasa wara la dang lo dang lo jin dang ne mi dang mema yan tamche ya ne karasa wara ne gawa kum je nyamba je che ne te je la tene ngonji sanje dang changchu samba namji kande tomba nyamne na yo ba nge jang nye je chigan 이런 라네 냠는 제가 이 냠매제 kulong kuru고래요. 대 kulong kuru신도 다 원래 이제 세든도 느껴고래.
As you finish the 3rd recitation, feel joy that you have received the vows in your mind stream. Then, having clearly established the bodhicitta motivation as explained above, think, just as the previous arhats abandoned all physical and verbal misdeeds, such as killing and so forth, and mentally turned away from them, similarly I too, for the sake of all sentient beings, will abandon these misdeeds for one day and night, and will properly train in the precepts. So then we recite that, we have recited that 3 times, and now we kind of generate the attitude, now I have the Bodhisattva Mahayana Sojong vow. I have them now, I have received them now. And then you rejoice in that. And you invite all other sentient beings, the gods and the demigods, the humans and non-human beings and all the others, you invite them to also rejoice. So, and then after this, just in the same way that bodhisattvas have taken the vow, I will also in the same way take this vow for one day. So you're supposed to generate this kind of motivation. And in order to do that, we have the words that come up now.
Tene sokjo meja shenje norya la meja chibi choja mejo jing zunji sekja mema wo gyonne mambo nyerde changne yongso pangwar cha chiden chedo meja shin deshin tuyma yinbe se chedan chenwa jendan ne kardan lozo pangwar cha chedar chajum dado ne sokjo lazo mechedar deshin sokjo lazo pang la me changju nyurdo shok 동al 망조 제된들 세베 졸러 졸러쇼 제 렌직 주사
From now on, I will not kill, nor take what is not given, nor engage in sexual conduct, nor speak false words. I will completely abstain from alcohol, which leads to many faults. I will not use high or large seats, nor eat at improper times. I will avoid perfumes, garlands, ornaments, dancing, singing, and so forth. Just as arhats constantly refrain from killing and so forth, so shall I abandon killing and the rest. May I swiftly attain unsurpassed enlightenment. In this troubled world of much suffering, may I liberate beings from the ocean of existence. Recite this once.
Tienen de la surin number tabar gyurbenji. Sung. Tandi niyu sajik sungura sungdo. Amonga Śīla sambaram. Bara bara maha shuddha sato. Pema bebu. Kiden buzam dara dara samenda awa lokede. Be sowa she surin namda gi sung. Len nyerjik de cheesa.
So then there is a mantra which is made to completely purify your discipline. And this mantra should be recited 21 times. Om Amulga Shila Sambhara Bhara Bhara Mahashuddha Sattva Padma Vibhushite Bhuja Dhara Dhara Samanta Avalokite Hum Pert Swaha.
Len nyerjik de che. Timji surin tini de jala. Tegang de dongore. Timji surin kyo menjik surin nambar tada de. Namsen bebe surin je surin parul chenzo shok.
So then we should recite the following. Through the discipline of the precepts free from faults, endowed with completely pure discipline, and with discipline free from arrogance, may the perfection of discipline be fulfilled.
Che so ngowa malam je ta jen barja den ne ran ye che bu ten ju dung do len sol chor che ba yin je la me tung de len ga mendal pol wa da la me ja to da par zon de me ming nam le bar da to je ngo je do ba len jo ga lo bun kong so so che dan ngon je so ju ge ten ne so cho so che de cha wa da ngo xian ju ta le cho ba so ton je be so ton ju be cha len dar cha ko so.
And then it says, then conclude with dedication and aspiration prayers, such as this little sentence is below the verse in Tibetan. This is primarily the method for taking the vows by oneself in front of a support. When receiving them from a guru, one should offer a mandala, and the guru should explain the visualizations for the beginning, middle, and end. During the actual vow taking, repeat after the teacher. Teacher, please think of me, just as the previous, and so on. And at the conclusion, from now on, I will not kill, and so on, and so forth. The conclusion should be done according to the tradition of the 8 precepts, with appropriate recitations.
Da dinzo 동바 동조 당 양당 덴데당 템비도네 덴나얀 되게래
Young.
당 멜로디.
So it is all right if you recite these prayers with a melody. So you sing them, kind of chant them.
당가서 가리 동고도 가리 동면도 하면고 쓰이라는 가서 단다 땡마지 뭐네 말아지 동기
Oh, yeah, yes.
다데 치 뭔고도 가지 동고 바요래 가지 만든 차나 지금 요래 뒤툭 쓰기래 자상다는 당 지 잠는 동이 당대랑 작업해서는 요 말에 소소 당 가래 신고해 줬는데 그래.
So in this text, it might be a little confusing which words need to be chanted and which ones don't need to be chanted. So it's possible that you might be confused about that. But yeah, so when you chant, it's all right in whichever way you want to chant.
니 나나 나 당지 잡으러 와 멜로디 당디랑 잡고 봐 말에 저랑 가래 신기해 가래 내라온도 된다는데 그래.
So now I will show you one melody, but it is not necessary that you use this exact melody. It's fine if you use whatever you know or whatever is easy for you.
Sanje chen dang so jo la jang jo bar do jab so ch tang dang yen dun drub le do da ge chang jo sem je do cho jo dang na sho ba ye sanje chang jo sem ba sum da ge zo be chang jo che ren ten ne chang sem je do sanje je dang so jo la jang jo bar do jab so ch Da da shen dun drup len do da ge jang jo sim jin cho jo da na jo ba ye san je jang jo sem ba su da ge zo be jang jo jer ren den ne jang jo sim je do san je je da zo jo la jang jo bar do jab zo Da da shen dun drup le do da ge chang jo sem je do cho jo da na sho ba ye san je chang jo sem ba su da ge zo be chang jo je ren den den chang jo sem je do Dam je do ne sa she da se ma la so me ba da la del dar nyam be dur ye ran shin jam bo ne jur je la da mi ye che be ze ngo su sham da yin je kun san je je la na me nam ge kam gun cham jur je om namo bhagavate vajrasara dhammādane tadāṅgādāya arhāde samya sambuddhaya dayada om bhajra bhajra maha bhajra maha denzo bhajra maha bide bhajra maha bodhi cita bhajra maha bodhi mandra pasam dhamma nam bhajra sarva karma avarana bishodhane bhajra soha lensum Kunjo sumje denpa dang sanje dang jangjo senpa tam che je chen je lam dang sonyo yung son so be nga dang chenpo dang cho je yin nambar ta je sam je me je be top je de de shin du top je de shin ni dun jo ro je Gozum gulbe Gozum gulbe go ne jang za lo ngo jam ye ru je ba ma le ba Tong me ne zang de de ma le ja Debang kewa namla jeyera korwa madong bardo lechu ne dola chujo korlo korwa da tajen ke namjang jum chemboro ngo sa je bojo joje me do da re rab ning je nye de jem sanje shing do me de bolwa ye dogo namda shen lo che parasho idam guru ra nam mendala kamdere yada ya mi yang na Oma aung kamsum no jo baljor na dalu leung jo tuje na nin nam la bal chen de chen je lab do sol om sarva da da ga da ra nam mandal goza me ga hum yana om bezar be me ahung shi yong so la so ba ke ba so na yan de re te che
Okay, so the English is not rendered in verse, so we don't have the option to chant it in English. And yeah, so Khenpo chanted through all those which were meant to be chanted, and then he recited 3 different ways of offering the mandala.
che che Cho jo na ju be san je da jang jo sen ba tam je da la kong so sol che da rang ngon je de jin she ba da jo ba yang da bar zo be san je ta chang she da wo lang bo chen bo da wo cha wa che shin che ba kuro bar wa da ge tun che zo to ba se ba kun du jo ro yong so se ba yang da be ka lekbara nambar tulwe tu lekbara nambar tulwe sherab chen deda ge semchen tamche ge tunje chirda pembara chawe chirda tolora chawe chirda muge mebara chawe chirda ne mebara chawe chirda changchub ji choji chunam yongzo zobara chawe chirda lana meba yangda bar zobe changchub do ngebar tobar chawe chir sojo yangda bar zeba techun do tak karma yönden lüde şeji ve tüydin nezonde çeze san nima maşar ge bardo simjen tamje ge dönge çirdan pembara çavye çirdan çorolor çavye çirdan munge mebara çavye çirdan ne mebara çavye çirdan çangcum ge çoge çönam yonzo zobara çavye çirdan lana meba yanda bar zobe çangcum ge bar to bar çavye çirdan sozon yanda bar lang bar kiyo temasum tene Tengne sojo mejaji, chenje norya lang meja, tribe choja mejoj, zunje sekja memawo, gyenne mangbo nyerdenbe, channo yongzo pangwarja, triden chedo mejaji, teshin duma yimbeze, tridan tenwa nyendane, kardan lozo pangwarja, chedar tajum tagdone, sojo lazo mejeda, teshin sojo laso bang lame janju nyurdobjo, Dungal Mando Jedendra Sibi Sole Tolwarasho Oma Amonga Shīla Sambara Barambara Mahashu Daswato Deman Bibu Kide Boza Darandara Samenda Awa Lokide Hombe Soha Lenshu Saji Timji Suldim Gyumenji Suldim Nambar Dada Lomzim Bebe Suldim Parul Chinzo Sho Kyalwa Gunji Chezo Lobjo Zangpo Chebe Yongzo Zojo Suldim Cheba Time Yongda Ba Tado Manyam Gyume Chebar Sho Lula Chebe Sumje Dashi Sho Ngala Tenu Sumje Dashi Sho Ila Laba Sumje Dashi Sho Kunla Kunjo Sumje Dashi Sho Onde Lechene Tambalam Kashi Dinala Yamare Surba Dunjore Surba Dinzoran Dungobam Chaba Yamare Nusoso Molam Shambayan Kashi Sungshanan Digre Nge Dang Majaba Dunzola Janang Zoyang Dang Jamla Yang Digre
Imala di Minkal.
Molam
Sora.
La
Sojong Imala.
Dir Suldim Molam Suldim Dame Molam
Okay. So then Khenpo went through the rest of the recitation after offering the mandala, going down onto the right knee and then draping the robe in the way that it was explained, joining the palms together and then reciting the rest. So yeah, this is how it should be done. And then it is also all right if you recite other aspiration prayers. This was not included here. For example, I don't know how this is translated properly into English, an aspiration prayer for moral discipline or something like that. So it is also fine if you recite other aspiration prayers after this.
La Peje Dindere Ninda Di Sesang Dusang La Soba Ni Duzo La Soso Tumba Dendus Langnan Digire
All right, so maybe that's it for now. And this vow you can take on auspicious occasions, on special days, or according to when it suits your own time.
Nizo Taba Soche Mare Mija Soche Dure
This is something that is mainly taught for lay people, not specifically for monks.
Taba So Langna Minde Wayang Mare
But that doesn't mean that it's not okay if ordained people also take these vows.
Laso Dirinde
Okay, we'll stop here for today.
Ne Chema Ngazo Tingizm Gola Peje Shigi
And then next time we will discuss meditation, meditative concentration.
Sonam De Damje Zeba Tomne Nyebe Kanam Bamje Ega Naje Balo Droba Sebe Zole Drowa Drowarajo Chanjo Zemjo Rembo Madye Banam De Gyurje Eba Nyamba Meba Omne Gondo Belwarasho 라서 는 상마 도지체 제마자요.
Thank you, everybody, and see you again. So, 자기야 가시 요래.
라서.
super chugu리라 아니 까나 너서 삼라데나 남시 참고이나 super 참고 chugu레나 동파 와트치 추는
그래.
아니 저니 파디 그런서디 칼라 사이키 주츠 충이 제라 연수 주츠 담보 기절라서 칼라 사적이거든
그래 나데 주의시에서는 사저 난 답뇌래 장모연나 라바당 동바지부는 되그래. 아니 남자 야보연 상마도 그래. 아니 갈라데 더 니공체가 뒤서 가도는 그래. 니무 체가 뒤서 나다. 주도 주님은 그래. 당문은 그래.
하고 있어 주문에 연주
나디 디 롱바를 보단 담다 여러 롱바 하시 주도 주님네 니마 체가 다다 지디 디 롱바라 도나 자나 주도 주님 잘라 참제 저거래 롱바 하시라 주도 당문은 그래 사제 하시 주도 당보 바도 아니 양 사제 될렘나 안 그냥 주도 당보디 잘라잖아 디 사제라 따고래 상마 롱바 체기 팀데 롱바 상마는 도고 말해 디래라
So the question was, if the weather is very cold, is it all right if we don't wash the whole body but only wash our face and our hands? And then the second question was whether we should not take food after 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. And then the answer was, so you should judge according to the place that you are living in. If it's very cold, then it's okay if you only wash your hands and your face. But if the weather is good, then you should wash your whole body. And about the eating, so it depends whatever is considered noon for you. So depending on which country you are living in, 12 may be considered noon, or 1 p.m. may be considered noon. So whatever is considered like the halfway point of the day, it may be that it is different according to different countries. So you have to take it according to the place that you are living in.